Welcome to the Breakthrough Advisor Podcast. In this podcast, we inspire advisors with ideas and pathways to break through barriers and build a thriving retirement income business. We will interview innovative technology developers, business leaders, and successful advisors, then help you organize and execute these ideas to move your business forward.
Hello and welcome to the Breakthrough Advisor. I'm your host, Eric Johnson, and today I have two guests on the show, and that is Mike Harris and Jon Rosborough. Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
Just great, thanks.
Oh, man, I'm excited to do this podcast with you. You gentlemen are from Alliance for Lifetime Income. That's correct?
Correct.
All right. So tell me a little bit about that.
So the Alliance started in 2018. We launched in October of 2018. And the whole idea behind it was that some of the CEOs at the large life insurance companies were sitting around seeing a retirement crisis, seeing more Americans than ever running out of money in retirement. And they were looking at this product that they had, mainly annuities, but retirement income planning in general, and saying, what's the disconnect? Why are we offering these products, but still Americans are running out of money? There must be a disconnect. And so they started thinking about it and realized that the national conversation about income planning and annuities wasn't really happening. And if it was negative. There was not any real communication or education out there about how you can put a strong retirement income plan in place or why. And so they started the Alliance. And initially, what we did is we really wanted to understand the consumer, the American. How are they thinking about retirement? How are they feeling about it? What are the emotions that go into it that are driving their decisions? And knowing that helped us kind of build this campaign to say, here's something you should think about. Here's why you should go talk to a financial advisor. Mm-hmm. We looked at the barriers to them going to talk to financial advisors and put a plan in place that would make sure that they keep money coming, an income stream for their life and not run out of money. And then that's really, at that point, it's kind of when Mike on the line looked at all the research we had about the consumer and said, it would be really good if we told this to the financial professionals out there. They could use this. They care about how their clients are thinking and feeling and looking at retirement, and them knowing this could really help them in dealing with and putting these kinds of, having the conversations about retirement income planning and, the decumulation phase of your life. And so Mike has really been instrumental in leading the Alliance down that path. And I think that's what ended up bringing us here today.
Yeah, that's a great foundation. Mike, before we get to you, I want to give you guys some credit here and some props. I wanted to kind of get the audience a real foundation of what your group is, the Alliance for Lifetime Income. But before we move on, I want to just give a little bit of a snapshot of you guys. Mike Harris, you are CFP and a CHFC, Senior Education Advisor. I mean, first of all, I think anybody out there that's listening to this knows what a CFP is. That is one of the hardest designations you can get, and that's tough. And so, obviously, you've got a lot of backing, 35 years of experience in the financial industry. Jon Rosborough, you as well, a financial professional outreach coordinator. You've been busy in your lifetime, 15 years in political and corporate campaigns and marketing. God bless you. Political, we're not going to talk about what just happened earlier this week, but if you've been working in the political arena, I think it's really tested you for the long haul for this group. Guys, you have an impressive history. I really appreciate you being on the show. And Mike, I want to give you a chance to add to what Jon said right now, please.
Yeah. I think one thing that I'd like those listening to understand is we are a non-for-profit organization. So everything we do is based on really three kind of tenets. The first is awareness, raising the awareness of the consuming public to the need that they're going to face in retirement, and that's having some kind of a protected source of income other than Social Security or possibly a pension. We all know pensions there's just not that much anymore. There's not that many anymore. About 14%, I think it is, of private sector individuals have pensions. And then you got Social Security. So we're looking to increase the number of households in the U.S. that have enough protected income to at least meet their basic or essential core needs in retirement, the clothing and food and shelter and transportation, just the basic needs. That's where we really see the annuity fitting. So awareness, raising that awareness. The second thing is education. Then, as John mentioned, annuities have been around since in the Roman days. They called it annua. It was really a lifetime income stream, just like we have today. But a lot of people don't understand them. They know they want what the annuities the benefits that an annuity can provide, the lifetime income, the protection, tax benefits while it's growing, things of that nature, family benefits for protection, but they don't equate them to an annuity. It's like, I want all that stuff, but I don't want an annuity, right? So it's an education, and that's driving us. The third tenet.
I'll just pile in there,
Yep.
Mike, really quick, that on that need, we have seen that 40% of Social Security covers only 40% of your pre-retirement income. So people do need something else to support that. Also, 49% of people they cite their number one concern in retirement as running out of money. And what we're seeing is that is a true concern, because about 4 in 10 households are predicted to run out of money between the 35 to 64-year-olds. So it is a concern, and it is a real concern. And that's why the education is needed.
Yeah, and absolutely. And the education is tantamount to what we do, awareness, education. But the third thing is we're really serious about encouraging individuals to seek the help of a financial professional. I mean, right now, statistics and our research shows us that only about 2 out of 10 households, or individuals, I should say, have any kind of a financial plan that they follow. Well, if you have no plan, you have no direction. If you have no direction, how do you know where you're going, how you're going to get there, and if you've arrived? So, that's tantamount. So we see a lot of opportunity there for the financial professionals to help individuals that we're trying to educate and move them to, so they can create that conversation and that relationship. So those are 3 very important things to us. So that's what drives us every day.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so interesting, because I don't know anybody under probably 30 years old that understands what it's like to be in a car and have to pull over to the side of the road, pull out the map and look at something physical and then try to figure out where the heck you are, because now everybody's got GPS. And if you have a good system in place, it's going to guide you step by step to get to where you want to go. Well, fantastic. But we didn't always have that. And I think that a lot of people don't necessarily buy into the fact that they need this long-term plan. John, you mentioned stumbling blocks. What are some of the stumbling blocks that you guys see in this situation?
Well, we did look at what's in people's way to going to get a financial professional and go talk to somebody. And a lot of times they're nervous. A lot of times people think, I just don't have enough money to do that right now. They'd laugh at me, or they have debts to pay and they say, I'm going to pay this off and then I'll go think about it. The thing that we're finding, and that I've even found in my own personal life, is that a financial planner doesn't care how much you have necessarily. They want to put a plan in place. It's kind of the old American dream. They're betting on you. They think that you're going to do well. So they want to put your plan in place, and then you guys both grow together. It's never a bad time to go talk to a financial planner. It's just kind of one of the messages that we want to get out there.
Yeah, it's sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No. I was just going to say, it's kind of simple from a financial professional standpoint. Is we want to help people accumulate money, right? Show them ways to build their nest egg, and we want to help them understand how they're going to grow that nest egg. But then where we really need to focus on then eventually is start educating them early on in their investing career of how we're going to spend it down. Because, that's the cradle to grave. And every financial professional that I've met and worked with over the last 35 years, and when I was still working, that's what financial planning's about.
Yeah.
And so if we can help the younger person connect with that financial planner in their early years, they have a much better chance of succeeding than trying to do it themselves. And they can't. It's just too much. I don't care how much you can read and watch on the internet. There's just it's much bigger in a breadbasket.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. It's a full-time
And Eric,
job.
I would just add that one of the reasons that the advisor or the financial professionals out there maybe should be paying attention to us is we do find that our messages are getting out and causing change in the way that consumers are acting. In 2020 alone, we had 29 billion impressions, and impressions, take it for what you want, but our message is getting in front of
Yeah.
people. They're seeing it. And we also saw our research that came out recently just showed us that there was a 2.2 million increase in American households that are protected by annuities since we launched in 2018. So people are interested in it. They're going out, they're talking about it, they're seeing our messages. And one of our calls to action is go talk to a financial professional. That's our main call to action. So we are sending people their way.
Absolutely. John, you bring up, an excellent point. Obviously, you are educating the public, right? And consumers are listening. You've gotten people's attention. So my question is, when it comes to the advisors that you want to reach out to or that you're trying to reach, what is the value proposition for them?
So we have research that we've been doing with Americans right now and looking at what do they want. If they're thinking about their retirement, what do they want? And we're calling this research the retirement reset, especially in light of COVID. We started talking to people in March, and now we've done 3 waves of this and how they're rethinking their retirement plans.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that we did find is that 3.2 million people have decided to retire later than they originally had planned to retire. We see that as a pretty big failure to put in place some kind of retirement income plan with the proper amount of protection. In our research, we're also seeing that people they're looking for the things that annuities offer, the benefits that come with a retirement income plan, including an annuity, and that's portfolio protection, covering basic expenses, steady return, steady income. These are the things that people are looking for. So as a financial professional, if you want to have happy clients, you want to grow your client base, you want them to tell their friends what a great job you're doing, meeting these needs is crucial.
Mm-hmm. And I'll add on to that is having been a financial advisor for a number of years and working with them for the last probably 30 years. Most people, and we've known in the industry that most individuals, as they're accumulating assets, have anywhere from 3 to 4 financial advisors. Now, that isn't necessarily financial professionals. They may have an advisor or 2 advisors if they're doing well, but they've also got a CPA or an attorney or a brother who's, somebody that's giving them advice.
Yeah.
And as they approach retirement, to get a consolidated look and understanding of how you're going to do it all, they start consolidating. And what we've always said is you want to be the last man standing when people consolidate advice.
Mm-hmm.
And so we feel that the best way to help advisors or financial professionals do their best to earn that trust and earn that position is through the gateway of retirement income planning, starting that discussion with people, knowing that you are going to take them not only through accumulation and growing assets, but also then helping them with the distribution of those assets later on. The holistic approach, more than just I'm here to help you grow your assets, that's a value that deepens that connection, deepens that relationship. And a lot of our material and content that we produce is around that, as well as practice management content that we provide, trying to help financial professionals understand what clients are thinking, how they're feeling, and what they want. Because if you know how somebody how they're feeling, what they want, and the values and the benefits they're looking for, you're not really selling them anything. You're providing them with what they want. They'll come to you. And so that's a lot of the proposition here. The value to the financial professional is we're trying to provide that material to them that they can then deepen those relationships with their existing clients and
one key indicator there, Mike, that we have is that if you look at future retirees, 70% said they would be willing to switch advisors in order to maximize their Social Security benefit. So if someone will put a plan in place that I can maximize my Social Security benefit, 70% are willing to change, which is an indicator to us that people are looking for a plan, and on the decumulation side, looking for a plan.
Well, also it speaks volumes to me that apparently their current advisor isn't helping them do that.
As an advisor, for years it's always been and still is the main focus is what we call AUM, assets under management.
Mm-hmm.
How do you help bring in clients, help them accumulate wealth, and then be able to spend the time with them to continue that. Well, eventually, when you retire, and believe me, I am a retiree. Things flip. You were creating a paycheck, now you were earning a paycheck, now you're creating a paycheck, right? Things in your financial life cycle flip. They just reverse when you're retired. You got to think about that. And so what we're trying to get a lot of financial professionals to understand is that it's going to flip from AUM to AUW, assets under withdrawal. Mm-hmm. And what worked on Monday or worked on Friday isn't necessarily going to work on Monday after the person's retired over the weekend. It's going to change a little bit. They need to be aware of that. People need to be aware of that. Advisors, our financial professionals out there need to be aware of that. It's a different process. And so we're trying to help them understand that and help them prepare for that.
Got it.
And because I love to throw in stats here, one that we did have on a new survey that we did was 65% of pre-retirees that have some form of protected income, so that's an annuity or a pension to supplement their Social Security, 65% think that their retirement savings will last their lifetime, whereas only 31% of people without that protection are confident that their savings and income is going to last. So just another indicator to a financial professional that this is something that gives your clients peace of mind, makes them think I'm going to achieve that retirement that I want, which we've also found, and we're going to try to explore this a little bit further in future research, that if you secure that base, if you make them very confident that their basic expenses are going to be met in their retirement, then some of those additional assets they have, they might be more willing to try to grow those a little more aggressively for longer than they would be without that basic protection.
Mike, you said earlier that you've got material for advisors. What do you have for them?
Well, and John can speak to this because he kind of controls the platform, but we are constantly creating consumer pieces that are educational. They're non-product specific. They're just about retirement planning. What is an annuity? What does it do? Why are there so many types of annuities? We talk about our income hierarchy. That's one of the pieces we have, which is usable with clients. And a lot of our material are FINRA reviewed. So for financial professionals out there that want to use it with clients that require that, our material has a FINRA letter with it. And so we have a lot of that. It's on our website. John can allude to that. It's resources.protectedincome.org. And all of our material is out there for financial professionals, no charge. A lot of it's been created by Horse's Mouth with our input. For those of you who don't know what the Horse's Mouth is, they create materials, financial materials that they then can financial professionals can purchase. We don't charge for it. We have client seminars, practice management seminar or PowerPoints. We have pieces that are actually like our income hierarchy piece. Helps a professional get the client engaged in the process. It's actually a worksheet that a consumer would use to kind of trigger some of their ideas in their head when somebody says, "What's important to you?" Well, a lot of people say, "Well, my grandkids are traveling or whatever when I retire." But we have a whole list that are like thought triggers that they can look at, and it gets them engaged in the process. Instead of just reading something, they have to do something. Once they take an active step, you're as a financial professional, you have pulled them closer to you inside the relationship. So all that is out there on our website, on our portal, for any financial professional to reach out and take advantage of.
Yeah, so Eric, just to follow up on what Mike said there, so we had all this research on the consumer, and some very smart people like Mike and other folks out there who have been on the sales side looked at our consumer research and said, this is great stuff. We're reaching consumers with these great messages. We know all this about them. We need to take this to the financial professional. We need to give them these insights. We need to make it so that when a consumer sees our TV commercial, hears us on the radio, and goes and says to their advisor, I want to talk to you about this, we have stuff that continues that conversation. So what we've done is created two categories of material. One is education for the advisor specifically. So want to learn more about this, here's some topics that we think are relevant. Here's how you talk to a client about a retirement income planning. Here's how you start the discussion. A lot of practice management in there, why you should consider this. It's what we alluded to earlier, that if you want to grow your business, keep what you have, get what you don't have. Starting that retirement income plan, being the financial professional who owns that, is going to be good for your business. So we have that education content for the financial professional, but we also have the client stuff. So client presentations. If you want to have a group of prospects in and talk to them a little bit about this process, we have 3 keys to income planning and answering what's next. That's a 30-minute presentation that a financial professional could give to start this presentation, to get people to come in and talk to them about it. We have an own the base presentation, which is directed more towards financial professionals about why they should consider this. We have little worksheets. We have one that's called what path will you take in retirement? It's something that you could even draw on the back of a yellow legal pad if you wanted to. You don't need to use our resources, but it's saying, are you going to be overspending? Are you going to be underspending? Or are you going to hit just right? So it's little triggers like that that get people thinking about their retirement, having these conversations, and they're product neutral, they're education based, and they're FINRA reviewed. So a lot of times we know that a lot of our carriers come in with product specific things. That's why they like us so much, because we're not about the product, we're about the idea of retirement income planning. And that's what makes us different and what we've gotten a lot of positive feedback on. But we would love everybody to go check it out on resources.protectedincome.org. You just put in your email and you have access to all of our content for free.
And one last thing, it's kind of funny, is a lot of this is driven by responses we get. A lot of the materials we create, the content. And what I mean by that is we've had, a lot of advisors, younger advisors especially, have been out there really doing a good job of helping people accumulate, grow their money. But they're asking us, how do I start that retirement income conversation, and when? And so a lot of the things we're trying to do is to help them start seeding that conversation by making content that is educational, that they can say, take a look at this, something we need to talk about, that you can just continue to work the client into that conversation. Mm-hmm. So it's not just, here it is, and today we're talking about income, or today we're talking about accumulation, tomorrow we're talking about income. It's a process. And that's what this is, something that's going to help that process move along.
What have the reactions from advisors been as they've been using your resources? What kind of feedback are you getting?
So it's been interesting. We have some great feedback. I like the ones where they say, I'm using this and here's how you can make me use it better. I had somebody reach out recently saying, can you make the font just a little bit bigger and a little bit darker on your pieces? Because I've been using them with all my clients and some people have asked for that. Yeah. So stuff like that we really like, it's because that means it's being used frequently. And if you made these little tweaks, we could use it more. But from the broader picture, we get a lot about what topics we should go explore. Do you have any research on this? And we love all that. We like the feedback. We want to hear what's top of mind for the financial professional community right now. We hear from our members, the 24 members that make up the Alliance, a lot of feedback on this worked, this didn't work. But largely they like that it's education, that it's product neutral, and that it really resonates with consumers, makes them change the way they're thinking about their retirement.
That's fantastic. Guys, this time has gone by so incredibly fast. What else do people need to know before we end this podcast? What else can you tell folks about the Alliance for Lifetime Income?
Well, one thing I would like to say about the Alliance is that we're 24 carriers and asset managers who represent a broad brush of the industry, leaders in the industry that want to change the industry, and they need your help. They want to work with you. They want to talk to you. And we're really excited to be here with InsurMark today to be able to do that. We love this conversation. We love this collaboration. We want to take it as far as you're willing to go. So thank you for having us here. And that's another point. We are very collaborative. We're willing to work with anybody in the industry. We're excited to work with you guys here at InsurMark.
Absolutely. No, this has been my pleasure, gentlemen. It's been wonderful to meet you. How do people reach out? Give us some more contact information so advisors can reach out and begin to start this conversation with their own clients.
So the easiest way is to go to our resource center, which is resources.protectedincome.org. You can go there and find everything we have. But also, Mike and I, we are the financial professional program for the Alliance. So if you reach out to info@alincome.org, send an email there. We monitor that. We respond pretty quickly. Or you can reach out to me directly at jon@alincome.org, and we are standing by to talk.
Fantastic. Jon Rosborough, Mike Harris, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it.
And the last thank you goes to you, the listening audience. Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Breakthrough Advisor podcast. If you have not subscribed to the podcast yet, please click the subscribe now button below. This way, when we come out with a new podcast, it'll show up directly on your listening device. This makes it much easier to share these podcasts with your colleagues. Again, thanks for listening today. For everyone at InsurMark, this is Eric Johnson reminding you to live your best day every day. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Breakthrough Advisor podcast. Click the subscribe button below to be notified when new episodes become available. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of InsurMark. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only.